This is Dan Wickwire here. In this session, we'll look at question number 188 in my book, 200 Questions About the Bible and the Qur'an. Here's the question. Was it Abraham who was thrown into the fire because he refused to worship idols? No, in the Bible, but yes, in the Qur'an. Let's look at the actual people who were thrown into the fire in the story in the Bible. That's in the book of Daniel. It's not in the Tevrat, it's in the Peigamber there. It's in the Nebim in Daniel 3, 19, 20, and 27. Then Nebuchadnezzar was full of fury, and the expression on his face changed toward Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He spoke and commanded that they heat the furnace 7 times more than it was usually heated, and he commanded certain mighty men of valor who were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and cast them into the burning fiery furnace. And the satraps and administrators, governors, and the king's counselors gathered together, and they saw these men on whose bodies the fire had no power. The hair of their head was not singed, nor were their garments affected, and the smell of fire was not on them. So this is the only story in the Bible about anyone being cast into a fiery furnace. And it's not Abraham that was cast into it. It's these 3 guys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, because they refused to worship, they refused to fall down before a false god. And yet in the Quran, we see it depicting the person who was thrown into the fiery furnace as being Abraham in several different places. Look at Enbiah 21, 51 to 71, verse 66, starting there. Abraham said, "Do you then worship besides Allah those things that cannot profit you in anything at all, nor harm you?" 67, "Fie on you and all that you worship instead of Allah. Do you not use your intelligence?" They said, "Burn him immediately and protect your gods if you are doing anything." We said, "O fire, be coolness and peace for Abraham." So, according to the Quran, it was Abraham that was cast into the fiery furnace and God protected him. It wasn't Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, it was Abraham that got thrown in. Look at Ankebut 29, 16 through 24. Verse 16, then Abraham, verse 24, they said, "Kill him or burn him." Then Allah saved him from the fire. Behold, herein are signs for people who believe. So again, it's not these 3 Jewish guys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It's Abraham that got thrown into the fire. Safat 37, 83, and 97. And surely from his party was Abraham. He said, "Worship you that which you yourselves carve. Then Allah has created you and what you make." They said, "Build up for him a building and fling him into the red-hot fire." Verse 98, and they designed a snare for him, but we made them the undermost. Now, note here that according to the Bible, it was not Abraham who was thrown into the fire because he refused to worship idols. This event found in the Bible is in reference to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in Daniel chapter 9, verses 1 to 30. And in Daniel chapter 3, verses 24 and 25, Nebuchadnezzar, he said, "Look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound and unharmed, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods." That's the ESV and the NIV translation. They translate that. He looks like the son of the gods. The King James Version, the old translation, says he looks like the Son of God. Now, that 4th person that was walking around in the fire, who was that? Well, this figure is widely interpreted as a pre-incarnate appearance of Jesus Christ, what we call a Christophany. And so It could have been an angel that was sent by God to protect Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or it could have been Jesus Christ himself in a pre-incarnate form. John Calvin looks at it like it was an angel, and there was different interpretations on that. But the fact is that it was not Abraham that was cast into the fire. It was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The Nebuchadnezzar said that this fourth person had a supernatural luster or a divine angelic quality. This was probably Jesus Christ himself that was standing there protecting the men in the fire, and none of them were burned. So the question is this: was it Abraham who was thrown into the fire because he refused to worship idols? No, according to the Bible, but yes, according to the Qur'an.